In 5.4, rotations and speed, we want to look at the information that we're given. We are already given the circumference, which represents how far the wheel will travel in one rotation, and that is about 65 inches. So in number 1, where it says the car wheel rotates once per second, every second it's going 65 inches. It wants to know how far in 1 minute. So in order to do this one, we have to take that circumference and we have to multiply it by the number of seconds in a minute, which is 60. And when we do that, we get about 3,900, and that's in inches. We can convert that to feet by dividing by 12, and that's going to give us about 325 feet. That's how far it's going to travel in 1 minute. And question number 2 says, all right, if it still rotates once per second, how many miles does the car travel in 1 hour? Well, we're going to have to take that 325 and we're going to have to multiply that by 60 because there's 60 minutes in an hour. And that's going to give us about 19,500, excuse me. I'll read that right in a second. And that's in feet because I use the feet from up here. But if you look at the question, it says how many miles? So that means I've got to convert this to miles. So I've got that 19,500, and I've got to divide that by the number of feet in a mile, which is 5,280. And when I get that, that's going to give me somewhere around 3.7 miles. Okay, so here's your answer for number 1. Here's your answer for number 2. 3, if the car rotates 5 times per second, we got 1 second here, we got 5 seconds here. So that means however far it goes, we're going to have to multiply that by 5. So if we use the miles, it's going 5 times faster. So when we get that, that's going to give us about 18.5 miles. Now on question number 4, if the car is traveling at 65 miles per hour, about how many times per second does the wheel rotate? All right, so in 65 miles in an hour, okay, we got to multiply that by 5,280. All right, that's how many feet in a mile. And the reason we have to do that is because we've got our information in feet here. So that's going to give us 343,000 when we multiply that, 200. Okay, now we got to divide that by something. If we were to divide that 343,000, this is how many feet it travels in an hour. So for question number 4, the final thing I have to do is take that 343,200 and I have to divide that by this here, the number of feet in 1 mile. The reason is this is in feet, we need to have this in feet. So that's 19,500. And when I divide that out, that's going to give me somewhere around 17 6/10 times is how many times that's going to rotate. There's a lot of information here. Take your time, go back and listen to this video again because you need to understand each part here. The main part of this lesson is wanting us to know that the circumference is how far the wheel travels in one complete rotation. And it wants us to know how many rotations, how to figure that out by using the formulas that we talked about in 5.3 and then how to manipulate those in 5.4. Go ahead and read the summary and then answer the questions that's on the assignment at the bottom of this form.